And again, to remind them that when we master those eight structures, we have covered more than the tense, because the definition of the tense is form of verb in time. And a person who masters our eight structures, he actually does more than the tense teaches. Because in the tense, two sentences that we cover, intention and compulsion, they are not taught to the student. So
Right.
when we master those eight structures, we master more than what the tenses can teach. Number one. And then second, we told our learners how to add amount of time to two structures, things structures and continuing structures. That we already have told them this. And then next we told them about the tonal division of sentences, structural division and tonal division.
Oh, no.
We have done it already. And then we also told them about active and passive structures. And in a way that actually makes the whole thing very clear to them. When they do active passive through grammar, then they are confused between the subject and object, and we gave them a very simple definition of passive structures. So active structures, subject is doer in active structures, and in passive structures, subject is not doer. So we have done all this. And now next, our learners, they are taught, see this narration, direct indirect narration, in the again as a grammar topic. But I tell my learners that, see, even this is not something that they need to learn apart from communication skill as a special area of grammar. No. So it is a part of our communication skill program. See, you know, a, a learner who has mastered eight sentences, who knows now amount of time, and who knows the structural and tonal division, and who has also mastered the passive structures. See, at this stage, I expect my learner now to start speaking in English. This is what I expect, that by now our learners start speaking in English. And you know what happens when a person starts speaking in English? So then, see, during his recall of some dialogue with some other person, that person starts quoting that person's words, actually. So this is direct narration. Actually, the person who is now practicing oral, who is now practicing spoken English. So when he starts speaking, he tries to reproduce those dialogues, for example. And here, then I tell my learner that he should learn the art of reporting somebody's words in their own words.
Oh,
The
right.
the learn the learner is to report the words of some other person with whom that they talked in their own words, and this is change of narration. That's all. Change of narration is only, see, learning the skill of saying somebody's words in your own
On
words.
words. Yes.
And this is a very important part of spoken English. Otherwise, when if while speaking you want to quote somebody's words, exact words, then you know what is the process. The process is that when you say that my mother said to me in the morning, you are my dear child.
Sure.
No, it's not like this. No, but if I report my mother's words like this, then I'm supposed to do another thing. For example, no, I would say that in the morning my mother said to me, quote, you are my dear child, unquote. Now,
Yes.
this is, in spoken English, this quote and unquote is to be used if we are reproducing somebody's exact words.
Exact word.
So,
Yes.
since we do not do that, so what should we do? We should learn the skill of saying somebody else's words in our own words.
Words.
And this is narration. This is change of narration, that rather than quoting somebody's exact words, now I am reporting those words in my own words. And Neha, here, the first thing that I would like to tell our learners, that inside the commas, for example, inside the commas, there will always be one or two or three of those tonal see, division sentences. For example, when somebody speaks, either that somebody would be making a statement which is assertive sentence, or that somebody would be asking a question that is an interrogative sentence, or that somebody would be using an imperative sentence, request, order, advice, or that person would be saying an optative sentence, for example, wish or prayer, or an exclamatory sentence or a let sentence. So our learners must know that inside the commas are always those tonal division sentences. That's we have already covered. So six of them. The person, you see, our learner can uh, come across the situations where these six different sentences figure inside the commas. And what is to do? He is to now use this skill to report those words in his own voice. Okay. So how do we do this? First of all, uh, that speaker has to connect the first part with the second part. See, coming back to the sentence, my mother said to me in the morning, "You are my dear child." So, this statement consists of two parts. One part is before the commas. In the language of grammar, they call it reporting speech. They call it reporting speech.
Reporting
And,
speech.
and then inside the commas, there is reported speech.
Reported
Reported
speech.
speech. So these two parts, these are the two terms of grammar. But our learner must know that these are two different kind of parts of the direct narration, and he is to connect. First of all, when he is using his own words, he has to connect these two parts. Okay, and for that he has to use a connector or a conjunction. And here now the first thing that I would like to tell my learners is that the uh, conjunction that, that, it it helps him in four out of these six sentences. That is used at four places. At four places. We will take the examples one by one. But first of all, let me tell you that out of these six, which are the four cases where that is the connector. So number one, assertive sentences. Assertive sentences, we use that. For example, my mother said to me, "You are my dear child." My mother told me that
That.
I was her dear child. Okay. Acha. So from the first, then we move on to the uh, fourth kind of sentence. Fourth kind of sentence is wish or prayer sentences, optative sentences. Okay. So my mother said to me, "May you live long." May you live long. So again, my mother wished that I might live long. Again,
Yes.
that that helps here again. Number two, and then third exclamatory sentences. There also we make use of that. For example, the poet said, "How beautiful the moonlit night is." Huh? The poet exclaimed that the moonlit night was very beautiful. Again, that is the connector. Okay, and then finally the let sentences. There also we use that. Okay, for example, I said to my friend, "Let us now take tea." I suggested to my friend that we should take tea then. Okay, okay. And then similarly, the other permission let is used in permission sentences also. The boy said, "Let me go in." The boy requested that he might be allowed to go in. Acha. The officer said, "Let the boy come in." The officer ordered that the boy might be let in. So this is the first idea that our learners must take notice of, that out of those six tonal division sentences, four are connected with the help of that.
Help of that.
Assertive sentences, number one, and then imperative sentences, then optative sentences, and then let sentences. And now, if there is a question inside, yes, if there is a question inside, again, we first of all we try to take the help of if or whether. I if or whether, WHETHER. If or whether are the two connectors for interrogative sentences.
Hmm.
For example, my mother said, "Are you not late?" My mother asked if I was not late or whether I was not late. See, we can choose one of these two. And
Okay.
because if is a it is a smaller word, so most of the people make use of if.
Yeah.
Okay. So my mother said, "Are you not late?" My mother asked if I was not late. So number one, we as for interrogative sentences, the connecting word is if or whether. Okay. But if inside the commas there is an interrogative word, for example, when, why, how, why. See, if one of these is there already, understand? So, for example, my mother said, why are you late?" My mother said, "Why are you late?" So my mother asked why I was late.
Okay.
So then even if or whether are not needed, only interrogative word becomes the connecting word. So this is how we handle the interrogative sentences.
Interrogative.
And the second thing about interrogative sentences is uh, that they become statements. They become statements. For example, when I say that my mother said, "Are you late?" So "are you late" is a question. But
Correct.
when I will report it in my words, I would say my mother asked if I was late.
Great.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't say that if was I late. I don't say like
Hmm.
this. Now
Yes.
my mother asked if I was late. So the question then, here the question passes into your tone, into your way of speaking, into your way of speaking, and it becomes a statement. Okay, it becomes. In interrogative sentences, we make use of if or whether. But if an interrogative sentence begins with one of the interrogative words, then even that is not needed. And a question becomes a statement. Okay. Now come to the imperative sentences. Imperative sentences. So in case of imperative sentences, two connects the whole thing. See, for example, I said to the boy, "Get out." I ordered the boy to get out. I said my friend, "Please help me." I requested my friend to help me. Okay. So I said to my son, "Work hard." I advised my son to work
To
hard.
work hard.
Okay. Acha, I said to my son, "Do not shirk work." I forbade my son to shirk work.
To short
Yes,
work.
if the advice is given with a negative sentence, then we do not say like this. "Yeah, I advise my son not to shirk work." We don't say it like this. We say that I forbid my son to shirk work. So first point is covered, Neha. Yeah, see, when two parts are to be connected, that helps us in four cases:
Yes.
assertive, imperative, optative, and net futile. Okay. Acha, if or whether or ordinary questions, but if there is an interrogative word inside, then even if or whether are not needed. Interrogative. And in imperative sentences, two connects the first part with the second. Okay, Neha? Okay.
Yes.
And then another thing, we are to tell our learners that requested, ordered, advised, forbade, they do not take two after that. Requested, ordered, advised, forbade do not take two after that.
Okay.
And suggested takes two after that. Okay. So now one point we have covered, we have covered how the idea of connecting the
Can.
first to the things. Okay.
Yes.
Acha. Then second idea is the idea of personal pronouns. Inside the commas, there
Yes.
are personal pronouns and we are to change them. So, and then again, sometimes in grammar, they suggest a formula. What is the formula? SON 1 2 3.
One, two,
Okay.
three.
It is a formula. Yes,
Yes.
okay, huh, see, it is 1 1 2 3 SON. 1 2 3 SON.
Excellent.
One means first person. Huh? Okay. Acha. and 2 means second person, and 3 means third person. Acha. So, uh, they say that if there is, if inside the commas there is first person, okay, it changes into the person of the subject. I give you an example.
Okay.
He said to me, I'm your friend. He said to me, I am your friend, but his enemy. Look at this sentence.
Okay.
He said to me, I am your friend, but
But
his
his
enemy.
enemy.
He told me that he was my friend and his enemy. Acha, third, three, S-O-N. S-O-N means the first changes into the person of the subject. Second person
Subject.
changes into the person of the object. And third person, no change. N stands for no change. Because his remains his. That's all. Okay. So this is the formula. But I have been telling my learners that they should, this formula works everywhere. It works everywhere. But I tell them a simpler way of handling this problem. I tell them that when they speak, they should try to simply remember who is saying what to whom. Who is saying what
Saying
to whom.
what to whom?
Okay. So now he said to me, I am your friend and his enemy.
Friend.
So if my learner remembers that I, actually the speaker he used for him, so
Him.
it will become he. Okay.
Hmm.
And I am your, and your, actually he was addressing me, so your automatically becomes my,
Me.
and his remains his. So it's a simpler way. Okay. See, he told me that he was my friend and his enemy. So I tell my learners to remember who is saying what to. Yeah, it's a better way of probably remembering and
Yes.
memorizing. Okay,
Right.
okay. Acha. So Neha, first point was the connecting word. We have covered it. The
Yes.
second point was personal pronouns. We have covered it. Okay.
Yes.
And the third point is that if outside the commas you have past past tense, okay, said, then the inside the commas we have to change everything into past.
Past.
Okay. He said to me, I'm your friend. He told me that he was my friend.
Was. Right.
So was were changed into, sorry, is am are changed into was were.
Was one.
Has have changed into had.
Had.
Has been have been changed into had been. So
Had been.
uh, but if there is past tense inside also. Okay.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, he said to me, I went to the market.
Right.
Okay. So inside already there is past tense. So this went then becomes past perfect. He
Perfect.
told he told me that he had gone to the market. So let me repeat it. Okay, if outside we have past tense, then inside present and future change into past. Okay. Huh? And if there is past tense already, was were changed into had. Or if there is had already, it doesn't change. For example, he can
Hmm.
he said to me, I had some money. He told me that he had
He
some money.
had
That's
some.
that's and finally, if there is a universal fact inside the commas, universal fact, there we do not change the tense.
Change.
He said to me, the earth revolves around the sun.
Then.
He told me that the earth revolves around the sun. So
Son.
universal facts are not changed. Okay. So Neha, this is all about the change of narration. If there is anything left in your, if there is any question, for example, you can ask that. Or if it is done, then it is all right. Our learner should try to speak and try to say other people's words in their words, like this. Okay,
Okay, sir. Done.
good, good.
Yes.
Okay,
Right, sir.
God bless you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
sir. Thank